Spring 2026 was supposed to be the quiet season. No Jujutsu Kaisen swinging for the fences, no free rent breaking the internet. Just a calendar stuffed with sequels and sleeper hits nobody was posting about. So naturally, it spent 3 months quietly serving up some of the most unhinged fight scenes of the year. These are the ones I haven't been able to shut up about. We've spent 2 seasons watching Will fight for the right to stand beside Elfaria. Then Wistoria flips the camera and lets her off the leash. When Zio of the Lightning faction snatches Will away mid-ceremony, Elfaria stops being the distant goal at the top of the tower and becomes a force of nature, hurling glacial spells across the hall while Zio answers with raw voltage. Ice against lightning, and the show knows lightning should win, which is exactly what makes her refusal to lose so gripping. Actors finally gives Elfaria the spotlight her legend earned, and the spell trading escalates into something genuinely operatic. 2 titans throwing everything they have over a boy who can't yet match either. Magnificent.
私だけのお嫁さん
Okay, picture every JoJo you've ever wanted on one team. Jonathan throwing hands next to Giorno. Jotaro and Jolin finally fighting on the same side. That's the pitch behind today's sponsor, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Spirit. Now here's the concept. It's a cross-generation JoJo RPG. Cross-generation meaning you're not locked to one part. You build your dream squad pulling iconic characters from across parts 1 through 6 into a single lineup. 6 parts, 1 team. Yeah, that sentence exists now. And I sat down with the game. Wait, hold on. Avdol? In this roster? Okay, understand animations? Gold experiences barrage hits, and I had to rewind it. The signature poses are dead on. The ultimates are pure peak JoJo energy. They didn't cut any corners here on this one. Now, here's what you're gonna do about it. Global pre-registration is live right now on iOS and Android, and it's a global milestone system. The more players who sign up worldwide, the more rewards unlock for everyone. Push it far enough and the final milestone drops SR Joseph Joestar straight into your roster. Oh my god, indeed. Quick one for the LA crowd. The game's at Anime Expo 2026, July the 2nd to the 5th. Hit the Steel Ball Run booth for exclusive freebies. So, do me a favor, go pre-register right now. iOS or Android, links in the description and pinned comment. Every sign up pushes us closer to free Joseph. Don't be the reason we missed the milestone. Go, then come back. The most Donghua make me wait for the spectacle. Blades of the Guardians just hands it over. Season 2 drops Daoma back into the dust of a collapsing Sui dynasty, and barely 2 episodes in, his own cavalry unit comes thundering down on him like the desert itself decided to charge. What follows is the cleanest blade work I've seen from a Chinese production in ages. Every cut weighted, every splay of blood choreographed with this grim ink painting elegance. Coloured pencil animation treats violence as calligraphy, and Daoma's stoic, outnumbered calm gives it a soul beyond the gore. I keep forgetting this show exists, and it keeps reminding me, sword first, exactly why I shouldn't.
去了。
まずはこいつを殺せ。何か飛ばしてきたか。
$1,200 years ago, two demons fought left and right to a dead standstill, then got sealed in a mountain to cool off. Episode 10 lets them out. The whole installment is one extended brawl inside a haunted house, and Bones treats it like a four-way chess match played at full sprint. Yuru's pair trading blows with Long Arm and Long Leg, while Dera picks shots from the edges. It's the most alive the series has felt since its premiere, every exchange built on a clever bit of spacing rather than raw noise. There's a Hiromu Arakawa pedigree humming underneath all of it, that knack for making monsters feel personal. Old grudges, new blood. I was glued.
もういいぞ。好きにやってくれ。
よくもうちの主に傷をつけてくれたな。
フィッシュ。
A teenage girl drags a blade across her own throat, and instead of blood, red flower petals spill out. That's the price of borrowing a dead genius's talent in petals of reincarnation. And it's how Haito wakes the swordsman Miyamoto Musashi sleeping inside her. Her first dance partner, Albert Fish. Yes, that Albert Fish. The show raids the true crime archives for its villains and somehow makes it sing. The choreography is quick and vicious, all controlled fury against a man who treats butchery like a hobby. I walked in, braced for edgelord nonsense. I felt genuinely rattled, which is precisely what a series this gleefully morbid is gunning for. Mission accomplished, you absolute maniacs.
毒蛇大人，我不会让你们得逞的。
只怕不太合适。
什么人？
Alright, let's talk about Release That Witch Episode 7, because holy peak fiction, Studio Thundere absolutely understood the assignment with this one. When Viper and his gang jumped Brian to sabotage the winter provisions, we expected the usual generic fantasy skirmish. Instead, we got a masterclass in tension. Brian's out here desperately fighting for his life against Viper's bizarre serpent-like long-armed sword style, the choreography utilizing a historically accurate rapier and cloak combo that had history nerds foaming at the mouth. Just when Brian's pushed to the absolute brink, the atmosphere shifts. Enter Nightingale. Sliding through the shadows like a literal ghost, she delivers an instantaneous, brutal beatdown that completely flips the power dynamic. It was chaotic, grounded, and perfectly balanced gritty tactical realism with pure supernatural dominance. Absolutely immaculate.
よく見ろおめえ。
木の枝。
Deep in the Pleiades watchtower, Julius volunteers to fight a legend, Reed Astria, the very first sword saint, resurrected and thoroughly bored. And here's the gut punch. Reed takes him on holding a pair of chopsticks. That's the gap. That's the entire tragedy of the scene crammed into one humiliating prop. Julius is the most graceful knight in this whole series, and ReZero parks him in front of someone who treats his absolute best as a stretch before the real workout. White Fox animates the desperation gorgeously, every elegant strike answered with lazy, devastating ease. What gets me isn't the spectacle, it's the dignity. Julius keeps swinging, knowing the math is hopeless, and somehow that's the most heroic thing anyone manages all season. I've been torched by enough video game adaptations to walk into Devil May Cry's second season with my arms folded and my eyebrows raised. Then the finale hands me Dante versus Virgil, the brother fight, the one this entire franchise is secretly built around, and my whole defensive posture just crumbled. Studio Mir stages it like a music video with a body count, blades and gunfire scored to new metal that has no right to slap this hard. But underneath all the swagger are two brothers who can only say I love you by trying to kill each other. The animation lands like a freight train, the soundtrack rips, and for a couple of minutes I was 17 again, mashing buttons in my bedroom. Absolute cinema, no notes.
3、2、1。
Witch Hat Atelier doesn't really do fights. It does magic the way a museum does paintings. Slow, deliberate, almost reverent. So when Qifrey faces down a dragon in the labyrinth and begins drawing his spells into existence, it lands unlike any clash this season. No screaming, no roaring power up into the void, just a composed teacher inking precise geometry into the air while a beast bears down on him. Every line a decision made under pressure. Bug Films makes the casting feel like calligraphy with a deadline. I caught myself holding my breath, not for the danger, but for the sheer craft of it. It's the most beautiful thing I've watched all spring, and barely a punch was thrown. Quick primer, because almost nobody watched this one. Marriage Toxin is about an elite assassin who poisons himself to fight, and who's also somehow on a desperate quest to find a wife. Yes, really. That assassin is Hikaru Geiro, and most of the season plays his social awkwardness for laughs. Then he storms a compound run by Toshiro, a lunatic stitching living monsters out of harvested blood, and the comedy evaporates. To stand a chance, Geiro hits himself with a triple overdose of his own toxin, unlocking a feral poison blood state for the first time. The hook is the cost. He has to wreck his own body to win. A goofy dating sim premise, sharpening without warning into something genuinely vicious.